Okay, so this is how I did the super elevation, the easement into the super elevation. So I come here, I have my ruler, well, yardstick in this case, ruler would work, but I'm going for 15-inch rise, so I need approximately 15 inches. So what I do is I put masking tape down with the sticky side up and tape it at both ends, and then cut it so there's two outside strips. The center strip is probably going to be discarded, depending on how the width is. Then I start at one end. I leave an inch or so of masking tape. Once again, sticky side is up. And then I apply a little tiny piece of masking case tape at 1 inch, sticky side on sticky side. It's not going to go anywhere. Then an inch down, I do 2 pieces of masking tape. Then 3 pieces of masking tape. Then a piece of Bristol board is the fourth. So that's 0.4 millimeters plus the 0.1. I'm now at 0.5 millimeters. I then add a 0.5 millimeter piece of styrene. Gets me to 0.6. Then I usually do 2 more 0.5s, one with one piece of masking tape on it, one with 2. Then I go, so then I'm at 7 plus 1, I'm at 0.8. Then I go with 2 pieces of Bristol board, one with the other one very light film of glue. Then I go with 0.5 styrene and the Bristol board, giving me 0.9. Then I start with my 1 millimeter, actually I use the wider stuff, 1 millimeter styrene. I believe it comes out to 4 pieces of 1 millimeter styrene. The first one I leave alone. Once again, it's about an inch between each one. But what I now start to do is to leave more of an inch, because I know I've got to ease out of this 0.4% grade. So the outer rail is going up at 0.4%, right? 4/1000ths of an inch per inch. But I want to ease out to that into the level. So I start to relax my 1 inch a little bit. So I've got 4 of the 1 millimeter, but they're not an inch apart. They're slowly getting further. The last one might be an inch and a half. And then the second 1 millimeter gets a masking tape. The third gets 2 masking tapes. The fourth gets 3 masking tapes. So I've got 3 pieces of masking tape on a 1 millimeter plus the piece of masking tape, sticky side up. That's 1.4 millimeters. I am at my 1.5. I'm done. I leave a little bit extra. Then I cut the ends, sticky side is up, pick it up. Usually, I pick it up at the small end, and that's in my hand. The small end's in my hand. Even if it doesn't matter which end of the curve I'm going to. So then I slowly apply here's a curve that's done here. This is a hard one. This was an outside curve. This was different. So this one was my exception, and it was hard to do. I found the inside curves, maybe I got that mixed up. Maybe this is an inside curve and that's an outside curve, but I found curved the opposite way easier. But anyways, you can see my 1 piece of masking tape, and then I'm starting with another piece, then 2, then 3, then I don't know if you can see it, a little bit of brown Bristol board, then styrene. So anyways, that gets glued until the end, and then I'm starting with my 1.5 millimeter piece of styrene. I know I'm mixing up inches and millimeters, but it's easier to think that you're going up by 0.1 millimeter per inch to get to, and in 15 inches you're up to, well, you've left some extra in these last few. So 16 inches, whatever, don't take my word for it, I'd have to measure it. You're at 17 inches, you're at 1.5 millimeters in approximately 15 inches. And then you stay at the 1.5 millimeters all the way along, okay? But you're installing the 1.5 millimeters last because you've already done this one. This one was done after the other one, and then so you do both gradients on either end of the curve, and then you do your 1.5. Now, just a little point on curves. The way to do a curve is to put two pieces of flex track straight out. I do it brand new out of the box on your workbench, straight. Take the ties off, put the rail joiners on, solder it straight. Then come up and do everything around the rail joiner. Now, you might think I made a mistake because my rail joiner ended up being on the bridge. It is going to be a scenery problem. Ties are missing. I've got this solder. I got to deal with it. The problem I had with what I'm calling an outside curve here is because I had the extra 30 degrees, I needed it all just to fit on this curve because it was more than a 90-degree curve. And I couldn't move this by even, it looks like here I need to move it 3 inches. I couldn't move it by an inch, really, very easily. So I couldn't get it off the bridge. That's my story. The truth is, I didn't think about it till the end, but then I looked at, could I fix it? And I go, no, I'm going to have rail joiners in the curve there, I wasn't happy. So about the only way I could move it, if I look at the curve, is to move it in this direction, which is the direction I don't want to go. If I go this way, my rail joiners are already on the starting of the curve. So anyways, I'm mixing up Superelevation and flex track on curves. I hope this was beneficial.